there are basically two kinds of copyright disputes. There's out-and-out piracy, which is a big problem for the entertainment industry, just simply making pirated copies of recordings or of DVDs, or essentially doing it over the internet. That's piracy. Nobody's disputing. It's copied. The whole thing was copied. That's one form. But another form is, for example, I'll mention a case I did for Trent Reznor and Interscope Records. Trent Reznor, who is Nine Inch Nails, I mean, he is the creative force behind the band Nine Inch Nails, did an album called Downward Spiral, which was a huge success, and it catapulted him into a tremendous stature in the industry. Somebody claimed that this plaintiff said that, well, I did an album that I sent to Trent Reznor. I did a CD, and I sent it to him by FedEx, and so I've been ripped off because Trent took 5 of my songs and incorporated the heart and soul of them into 6 songs in the Downward Spiral album. So we had to take the deposition of the plaintiff, get his story. How did he prove that Trent had access to his music? What evidence did he have, and so on. The other side was able to take Trent's deposition and the deposition of his manager. And at the end of the day, we took all of that testimony from the parties and from the experts and submitted it to the court and said to the court, there's nothing taken here. You can just hear that there was nothing taken. But if anything at all was taken by the plaintiff, it wasn't anything that's protectable, right? It was just ideas. Having a high-pitched sound at a certain point in a song doesn't mean we took that's protectable, because if you allow a plaintiff to say you can never use a high-pitched sound in the middle of a 4-bar measure, right? Then you're giving that person a monopoly, preventing anybody from writing a song that has a high-pitched sound in a 4-bar measure, right? So the case was thrown out, and then we won on appeal. But there are cases that are sometimes even more bizarre. A fellow named Lawrence Humphrey claimed that he was a friend of LL Cool J and grew up with LL Cool J in Queens, New York. And LL Cool J's first album was known as Radio. It was released by Def Jam. And this plaintiff claimed that he had gone down to LL's basement and made a what's so-called basement tape, that he had wrapped his album, songs that he wrote, on a blank cassette that he had put into a tape recorder that LL Cool J had in his basement. And he said actually there were 2 tape recorders, and he had 2 blank cassettes that he turned on at the same time. And he claimed that he wrapped his album and then gave one to LL because LL had let him use his basement and also was doing the scratching sound, and so he decided to give this record to his friend. And 6 months later, the Radio album is out, and he says, that's mine, that's me, it's my voice. I wrote all those songs, and I recorded that. So we actually had to go to trial in that case. And we won. I represented Def Jam and Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin, who's the great record producer who produced the album. And we won that case. And we won that case in part because we took this plaintiff's cassette, his original cassette that he said was his. Remember, he'd given a duplicate to LL Cool J. And we took it, and we had the code numbers, which were on the cassette shell, traced by TDK, which was the manufacturer of that cassette. And TDK was able to determine through their manufacturing records that that cassette was manufactured in Japan 4 months after the commercial release of the LL Cool J album. So obviously what this kid had was a copy of the LL Cool J album. The LL Cool J album was not a copy of what was on this kid's tape. So, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So, but we had to go to trial on that. And at the end of the day, we not only won, but the judge ordered the lawyers for the other side to pay our clients $100,000 in expenses in defending the case. So So that's the kind of thing that copyright deals with.